Hi, this is James Sedley. Welcome to the Living in Naples channel. Thanks for tuning in today. I want to talk about a very difficult subject, at least difficult timing on this, and this is the ongoing recovery post Ian in Southwest Florida and throughout Florida. It's really remarkable to see the amazing resiliency that is going on in the community and the significant time and money commitments that are being made to rebuild Southwest Florida. Please know that those efforts and the devastation wrought by Ian are in the forefront of my thoughts and will be for some time. At the same time, there are still numerous prospective buyers and sellers reaching out to ask me about the real estate market post-hurricane. So I want to provide some perspective along those lines this morning in a way that is hopefully respectful of the work ahead in rebuilding and recovering from Ian. As always, I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And now let me dive in on 5 things that I think buyers and sellers should know in the wake of Ian. First of all, in terms of the overall sort of macro effects, numerous economic studies have shown that real estate values typically rise in the wake of natural disasters. From the Federal Reserve to real estate consulting firms to economists' studies, the findings are consistent in terms of direction, if not necessarily in magnitude. Due primarily to the impact on supply due to homes being lost due to natural disasters, unfortunately, prices will rise. In simple terms, while some people will move in the wake of Ian, many more will not want to leave the beauty and weather of South Florida, their friends and family in the area, etc. And of course, there are always newcomers wanting that beach, golf, retirement lifestyle that makes the area so attractive as a destination in the first place. So that brings us to number 2. And this is, you should be aware that FEMA's 50% rule could have significant impacts. If you're not aware of this, in short, the rule requires that if repairs/rebuilding amount to more than 50% of a home's value, the home must be brought up to current codes, such as wind and elevation buffers against future hurricanes. So in the hardest hit communities along Florida's Gulf Coast, this is going to mean starting from scratch in a lot of cases, which is likely to lead to both a different look and a different higher price point. Simply put, more prospective buyers will be priced out of the market as the costs of storm mitigation in these rebuilt homes are passed on in the form of higher home prices, as you would expect. Number 3, insurance is more central than ever. Even before Ian, Florida home insurance premiums were about 3 times the national average. It seemed like about every 3 to 6 months, a major insurer was either pulling up stakes and leaving the state or being forced to shutter due to insolvency. The dust has not settled yet, but it is safe to say, I think, that Ian's impacts are not going to lead to a reversal in that course. There is a special session coming up in the legislature in Florida that was just announced. These things have happened, and we haven't seen, again, any reversal in that course. So we'll see, but I'm not optimistic on that front. I've said it elsewhere, but it is very important as a result for a prospective buyer to shop insurance in parallel when shopping homes to ensure that you have the full budget picture in focus. That brings me to number 4, and the big caveat in all of this is that we have rarely seen a disaster of this magnitude, and we also haven't seen a disaster like this on the back of a historic run-up in prices like we had at the beginning of the decade in the housing market. In other words, we can look at historic numbers and studies, but just know that the past is not always predictive of the future, and there are some major reasons why this time could be different. And the final thing I think you should be aware of and keep front of mind in this post-Ian real estate market is inspect. All through the peaks of the recent seller's market, I would consistently urge my buyer clients to buck the trend of waiving inspections. If we experience anything like the FOMO-driven mad rush of buyer demand again in Southwest Florida, I'll be doubling down on this advice, given the potential for costly hidden issues on the horizon for new owners. To be clear, this isn't meant to be a fear-mongering about every home having an issue post-Ian. Lots of homes and communities came through unscathed or relatively unscathed, and will be very similar situations to prior to the hurricane. But as I said, I was singing the same tune before the hurricane. I just don't think spending hundreds of thousands and into the millions of dollars without a fuller picture of what you may be buying makes sense. And should that market insanity return, I'm ready to advise clients on how to cover themselves while still presenting winning offers. In other words, you don't always have to, and in most cases, you don't have to waive inspections. So I appreciate you tuning in. Interesting times, it will be very interesting to see what happens with the market here in this post-Ian world. As always, I'm here to help anytime. Please do reach out directly with any questions or if I can help you in any way. And as always, thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks so much.